Silent Night. You know, I think of that Christmas carol, and I think about how do you find a silent night? I did some reading about that favorite Christmas carol, and I discovered that in 1816, Joseph Moore wrote a poem, Stille Nacht. He is from Austria and must have been quiet the night he penned those words. He recounted some parts of the story of Jesus' birth that are really compelling, and we find them in Scripture. But a silent night, really? Moore asked his friend Franz Gruber to set that poem to music. He really asked him to set it to the guitar. And so Franz Gruber and a group performed Stille Nacht the first time on Christmas Eve in 1818. I've reread those lyrics and sung that song since I was a child, and despite all of my best intentions to try to come to terms with Silent Night, I just can't think it was a very silent night. In fact, I got to thinking about the story of Jesus' birth. Maybe it was silent the night that Moore wrote the hymn, but I have to think that Bethlehem was buzzing. Sitting here in Tuttle and watching the traffic go by. And it's certainly not the traffic that we could have got out at the corner at Tri-City, nor anywhere in Oklahoma City for that matter, but even in a town a little bit away from the major metropolitan area, we still have a bit of traffic out tonight. Maybe you can hear the cars in the background. Not really a silent night. I thought through the verses of that carol, and despite my best efforts, I just couldn't find anything silent about that night. Crowds rushing Bethlehem for the census. Joseph had taken Mary there. We find it recorded in Luke. I can't imagine a stable being quiet. Animals, people parking their mules or their camels for the night, likely rousting that young family. I can hardly think it was silent that night. The shepherd's sleep was disrupted by a heaven full of angels speaking and singing. I can't think that after the shepherds visited Jesus that night that the air was silent. As the Scripture says, they went away praising God for all that they had heard and they had seen. No, it may have been silent in Austria, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't silent that night. For in a way that we couldn't imagine nor could we describe, God spoke very loudly. In fact, the writer of Hebrews said that God tried to describe some things about Himself by calling out prophets and a variety of kind of people to speak for Him and about Him. The writer of Hebrews says He finally spoke in Jesus, and He's speaking loud in Jesus. It's not silent. No, it's not a silent night here in Tuttle, and I don't really think it was a silent night that night. And I really don't think we should remain silent about the most significant birth that changed the course of human history. I don't think it's a silent night at all. I don't think it should be.